How do we learn? What makes us remember? These fascinating questions have captivated neuroscientists for centuries. In 1894, Santiago Ramon y Cajal thought that memories were not formed by the creation of new neurons, which would lead brain sizes to dramatically increase with age. Instead, he proposed they were formed from the strengthening of the connections between neurons. Now hang on a second. Can you tell me what the scientist's name was? You probably forgot, but that's okay. This time, really try to remember. Santiago Ramon y Cajal. Santiago Ramon y Cajal. In 1945, Donald Hebb built on Cajal's idea and established the foundation of synaptic plasticity. Just like muscles, neuronal connections can strengthen or weaken, depending on how much they're used. This idea is often summarized with the catchy phrase, "Neurons that fire together, wire together." Now can you tell me who the scientist was? That's right, Santiago Ramon y Cajal. In just a few seconds, you've harnessed synaptic plasticity. You've made a set of neurons fire together and then wire together, chemically altering their connections and making it easier for you to remember his name. Let's take a closer look at how this works. Normally, when a signal called an action potential reaches the synapse, glutamate is released from the presynaptic neuron. This glutamate opens AMPA and NMDA receptors in the postsynaptic neuron. NMDA receptors, permeable to calcium, don't let any ions through because of a magnesium blockage. AMPA receptors allow sodium ions into the cell, which, depending on the amount, may or may not be enough to cause the postsynaptic neuron to fire an action potential of its own. Imagine the neuronal connection is like a link in a game of telephone. The probability of a message being successfully passed on can be determined by how loud the first person is and the sensitivity of the second person's ears. Similarly, the likelihood of transporting enough sodium to continue the neuronal message is based on the glutamate of the first neuron and the AMPA receptors of the second. Now, when a signal of extremely large frequency occurs, more sodium is let into the cell. This dramatic influx of positive charge expels the magnesium ion from the NMDA receptor, which can finally allow calcium into the postsynaptic neuron. Through various chemical and genetic processes, calcium brings in more AMPA receptors and phosphorylates them, which boosts their efficiency. Calcium also signals the presynaptic neuron to produce more glutamate. This whole process results in the strengthening of the neuronal connection and is called long-term potentiation, or LTP. With more efficient receptors and increased glutamate, the postsynaptic neuron becomes more sensitive to upstream stimulation and more likely to repeat the action potential in the future. In the game of telephone, LTP would be like making the first person speak louder and the second have huge ears, thus increasing the chance that the message is passed on. Long-term potentiation is a key mechanism behind synaptic plasticity, memory, and learning. And it also demonstrates the importance of exercising our neuronal muscles to keep our neurons firing together and wiring together.